talking, I think about land conversions, and one of the things you mentioned was satellite images, and there was a couple others. But I'd like you to, if you could talk a little bit about that, how you looked at the land conversions, what that data brought you, and how the satellite images, what that told you, and if that dealt with the cause of land usage, what the pictures, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was from 2001 to 2004, those images. Does that those pictures from the sky tell you why that might, and the other things too? I didn't hear what they were, but if you could just elaborate on that, the methodology.
So basically, we looked at four models. GRID is a model that is used and developed by the Department of Energy. FAPRI and FASOM are peer-reviewed agricultural models. So basically, the FAPRI model has been used for international use and the FASOM for domestic use. So let's talk about corn ethanol. To the extent in this country that we're using more corn towards the production of fuels and less corn to export, there are models between FAPRI and FASOM that will tell us where this additional production of corn will happen. That is the corn that is not going to be exported from United States to the global market. And we're using the FASOM model to tell us how much of that corn in 2022, the corn volume, will be produced in Brazil versus Nigeria or other countries. So we know that aspect of the indirect impact that our biofuel market will have. What we don't know, though, through FASOM yet, is where is Brazil going to go to produce this additional corn? Are they going to use pasture land? Or are they going to use forest? Or are they going to use grassland? Or they're going to use a combination of the three? And what we have done for this proposal is to use NASA satellite data that shows us historically where did Brazil go from 2001 to 2004 to additional land to produce additional corn or additional soy. For example, for the analysis that we have done, the proposal is based that the majority of the land that Brazil is going to use will come from pasture land, where greenhouse gas impacts will be very minimal. But then the data shows that about 4%, I believe 4.2%, will come from forest land. And that has a huge impact on the greenhouse gas emissions. So what the analysis shows is that if you do a sensitivity analysis and you assume something less than 4%, let's say 0% from forest in 2022, what will happen from greenhouse gas emissions? And you see that it's different, significantly different. And again, these are the elements that we're trying to peer review. The peer review has started of the satellite data, and we believe we should have the results by end of June, and we will put those results out for public comments.
So we're looking at Brazil and tracking what they did and then modeling the United States after that. And are we also tracking, taking into account other reasons other than just corn ethanol and that production in maybe less consumption or other uses or less demand? Or are those all taken into account too?
Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you. Madam Chair, I yield back.